welcome back on my channel here to another episode. My name is Ulrich and today I want to talk about melodic playing. I want to talk about what it takes to move your playing from mechanical to melodic. What is it really that you need to work on to leave those scale boxes behind you and start sounding like a real musician? If you're like a lot of guitar players, then you've already tried a bunch of things. You've tried to learn more scale shapes. You've done some courses or watched some YouTube videos about music theory, about using triads, about using the chord tones. You know, you might have learned your triad shapes, yeah? So like in this song in B minor, you know how to find the inversions of the triad. Like this, yeah? You've done all this work, but still, when it comes down to really playing, you still don't feel free. Does that sound familiar? See, many of my students are in that state when we get started working. And I want to today present you one of the most powerful approaches to start feeling and hearing the melodic potential of your chord progression, because let's face it, the melody always relates to the harmonies below, right? And the more we can really feel the harmony and use the harmony to create a beautiful melody, the better our melody will sound. So any mechanics, like just triad shapes or just scale patterns or just the cool lick that you learned the other week, is not going to cut it here. Yeah? Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the pathway of the voice leading and look at our voice leading and see how we can take advantage of that. And the first step that we're going to do here is super powerful, is we're going to play just the third of each chord. Why the third? Well, because the third is really the emotional interval. If you think about all the intervals, you know, the third carries the emotion. We got the minor third is the sad sound. Think of Beethoven, you know, think of dun 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 dun. This is all minor thirds, yeah? And then we have the major thirds, you know, it's the happy sound, the happy birthday sound, you know, happy birthday to you. It's all major, you know, it's happy, vibrant, and so, yeah. So we gotta test out the melodic potential of a chord progression by sticking to the thirds, and this will already give us a pathway. Let's give it a try here. Here are our thirds, just in slow motion. D over the B minor, C, F sharp, B over the G minor. Again. And here in the higher octave, and start connecting them. See how melodic that sounds? Is that pretty much a light bulb moment for you? Because it definitely was for me once I figured out this technique, that I just need to hit the third on the downbeat of the chord change, and I kind of get like a rendering of the melodic potential of the chord progression. Yeah? It kind of shows you where the chord progression wants to take you, and it doesn't mean that you're only gonna play thirds from now on, but it just means that you have a new point of reference that you can use to navigate your melody. Chances are that when you do these exercises, you already start to hear some new melodies in your head that you haven't heard before. Yeah? So like, you know, I'm already hearing like some kind of melody here. Yeah? So do that. And then the next step is what I was doing already here in this example. I was starting to connect those notes melodically and kind of weave them together into a melody. Now the next cool thing is that you don't only have to do this always on the downbeat of the chord change. You can do this on any rhythmical value. But it's good to know that when you do it on the downbeat, it will have the strongest effect. It will just be the most obvious melodic gravity, basically. It's like a melodic gravity. When you hit the downbeat with that major third, or that third, whatever, minor or major, it doesn't matter, it will just have the most weight to it. Yeah. Now, if you change the rhythm on it, then it will change the weight. So, as you get more sophisticated with this approach, you can change it up and you can delay the third, or you can anticipate the third, which means it comes earlier. So you have all these additional rhythmical variations also available, how to place your notes. Yeah. So this exercise is also exercise in note placement as much as it is an exercise in voice leading. All right, so last but not least, what I want you to think about here is that when you have the chords, and maybe you used to play this before, and you realize that this just sounds very boring, kind of. And you already know, like, okay, yes, I want to target the chord tones. Yeah, it's a fancy word, targeting the chord tones. But then when I just play the chord tones, it just sounds so stale, right? So what else can we do? Now that we have the thirds approach, that already works. It sounds way more organic, right? And we can hear the chord change. But still, we have all the chord tones available. So what are the general rules about using the chord tones? Now, if you were my student and you would ask me this question in one of our weekly inner circle lessons, then my answer would look something like this. I would tell you that the chord tones are mainly a construct to guide you, but that doesn't mean that we actually play the chord tones all the time, and doesn't mean that we play them straight on. We usually approach them. We usually embellish them. So the same thing here. When I solo, I usually won't just land on the third, on the B minor, but instead I might do like something like this. Let's put on a drone. Let's hear all the variations we can do of just targeting that D note over the B minor. Check it out. Here's a B. I'm gonna play. That's a strong one, right? So you want to practice to create phrases that resolve on the third. That's what you need in your vocabulary. Yeah? Those can be your primal melodic cells that you've been missing in your playing because all you were focusing on so far was like this, or maybe this. Just learning all these scales and trying to figure out how to make them sound like music. Well, you gotta work on some melodic cells. And the best thing to do it is to just think about the ending note, the resolution note, because that is really voice leading, applied voice leading. And you're not building licks that will work in a voice leading fashion. Huh? So if I have licks that can resolve to that D note, then I just have very beautiful melodic possibilities. Yeah? Let me show you an example. What do you think? Isn't that already much closer to the way you want to improvise? This approach is not very technical, doesn't require a lot of technical chops. In fact, the technical chops can sometimes keep you from playing like this, because you're only technique focused and you forget to think about the melody. It happens a lot. One thing though that is important, you want to have solid phrasing. If your phrasing is poor, then all of these ideas won't sound as good or convincing. So what do I mean by good phrasing? I really mean good string bending, good intonation, good legato technique, good slides and stuff. So this has a certain flow to it, right? So this is all connected. The notes are all connected. I'm not going like this. I'm not playing like this, or I have a flow. So you wanna play your notes generally connected, which is actually connected. Legato is actually the same word. Legato means connected in Italian. It's a musical term of the Italian language. Legato, connected. So as a general rule, you want to play our notes connected, legato, long, and this will give us this beautiful singing quality. That doesn't mean that all the notes are going to be long. We're going to have some accents in between. Yeah, we're going to have some short endings. If I play like, I'm gonna do those kind of things, but when I play a short note, it's very conscious. It's not like in between that it just make like a stumble, It shouldn't be like that, yeah? It should be very connected, and then when you make a short note, it's more like an exclamation point, yeah? Or like a paragraph. Does that make sense? Yes, so pay attention to your phrasing. And maybe one way to pay good attention to your phrasing is just to put on that B minor drone, or you can practice this over any chord, on this progression. You just isolate any chord and you just play over that chord and kind of like do your melodic phrasings of each chord. Yeah, let's do it over the A, for example. If we have this chord, yeah, and I just play it out, so I play. How much can you milk that A major chord? Huh? It will give you new options in your phrasing. You'll find new stuff. You will be more confident on each chord. And now that you think more about the chord tones, you can really target that C sharp in the A major chord and squeeze out the melodic emotion of the third. This is really the musical way to target the chord tones and build your own vocabulary based on targeting the chord tones, which is much different than playing in your solo. You're not gonna play these things in your solo. Yeah? Or if you do, I mean, you can. It's just gonna sound very mechanical, but that is exactly the purpose of this lesson, to get away from mechanical and sound more melodic. Do you get me? So I hope you got a lot out of this episode again. If you're a regular visitor to my channel, then please subscribe. You know, there's a lot of people on this channel that haven't subscribed yet. I'm planning to pop out more content like this that really helps you to apply the things, the theory and the stuff that you already know, and just start sounding better. There's already some great theory lessons out there, and you know, stuff about technique and yeah, I mean, all the left brain stuff is already covered, yeah. But I feel like the right brain stuff, the creative stuff about improvisation, especially in rock and blues rock, is not so much covered. Yeah? And how do we practice that? That's really one of the main topics that I want to dedicate our Total Guitar Transformation community to, is how do we implement that and help you to actually sound better when you're on stage, when the adrenaline is kicking in and you're getting ready to play. Awesome. If you want to learn more about TGT Academy and my inner circle students that I work with on a daily basis, then check out the link below that says Game Plan Session, and I might be speaking to you very soon. Keep on rocking.